What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. As always, man, 6 game slate to talk about for Tuesday. Another day where the Mavs are the big news. Last night or yesterday's slate, basically the whole Mavs starting lineup was questionable, and that's basically once again the case today. We do know that Porzingis is probably not going to play. He's doubtful. We know that Josh Richardson's probably not going to play. He's doubtful as well, but Luka's questionable, which is the big news of the slate that I don't know, when we're going to get that. Yesterday we got an update on Luka. I think at like 5 Eastern when the injury report came out. Maybe we'll get an update then. But this is definitely one of those days where you might have to late swap after lock. 3 of the 6 games start at 7 o'clock. One of them starts at 7:30, and then you got 2 late night games. I think having pieces in the late night game is going to be important. Leaving yourself flexibility to swap in case Luka gets ruled out after lock, because if he does, that's going to change the whole slate. That's going to make a lot of guys from Dallas super viable and guys we want to get exposure to. But yeah, man, it's a lot to talk about. 6 game slate should be a fun one. Appreciate you guys being here as always. Before we get started with the Q&A and everything, hit the like button, guys. I do appreciate the likes. If you're new here, subscribe as well. But see, we got a lot of the regulars in chat, a lot of members in chat. Appreciate you guys as always. Chris, T Money, Patrick, what's up, my man? Or what's up, my fellas? What's up, man? What's up, Noah? How are you? Let's get that money tonight. Hey, let's get it, Patrick. Let's get it, man. I need to bounce back after last night. PG, I'm sure a lot of you played PG last night. PG did me dirty. Probably one of the worst games of his career. 17 DK points from Paul George. Just how? How does that even happen? What's good, Noah? I'm back, bro. Hey, welcome back, man. Welcome back. What do you think of Dort today? I think he's a good low-owned option. I don't see a ton of people playing him on this slate, but am I personally going to play Lou Dort? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to go there, but he's going to be low-owned. If you want to play him in tournaments, I'm fine with it. Dort's upside is obviously a lot higher when you do take, SGA off the floor. You take Horford off the floor. We've seen Dort have good games. I just don't think I'm going to play Lou Dort on this slate, me personally. Let's get this bread. Noah, Dwight Powell with all the Q tags on Mavs or DeAndre Jordan with Claxton out. So we got to talk about the Mavs. They ran just a weird rotation yesterday. They played a lot of guys, they ran a deep rotation. Dwight Powell, the game before, he had played 28 minutes, and then last night played 13 minutes. It's always tough to tell what the minutes are going to be like for these, Mavs guys. With Porzingis out, you would expect that Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein would, split the minutes. But last night, Powell only played 13. Willie Cauley-Stein played 27. And then Boban came in the second quarter, and he actually played pretty well in the second quarter. He played 9 minutes, but then he never checked back in. So I'd probably still take DeAndre Jordan there. Assuming that DeAndre Jordan starts, I'd probably still rather have him over Powell. PG owes me money. PG was just huge, chalk bust yesterday. PG was one of the best plays on the slate, but just that kind of performance, the blowout, the foul trouble, he shot the ball terribly. Literally everything went wrong for Paul George yesterday. Steph or Brogdon, keep Price in mind. I think when you factor in Price, Gabriel, I would rather have Malcolm Brogdon. What happened to Maxey last night? Yeah, Maxey, I really don't know what happened with him. I played him on DK just because of how bad the power forward position was. He played literally 10 minutes. I think he played 10 minutes in the first quarter and then never checked back in. He was questionable heading into that game, and he's questionable again, so I'm assuming that maybe he re-injured himself yesterday. I have no idea. But yeah, without Porzingis, if Maxi Kleber plays, you would think he'd be a good option, but it's just so tough to tell what this Mavs team, with what Rick Carlisle is going to do with these minutes. We know Luka's going to get minutes as long as he plays. We know Tim Hardaway's probably going to get minutes. But Brunson, even last night, Brunson only played 18 minutes. Trey Burke got really hot off the bench. He played a good amount. I don't know, man. If you get the Mavs right today, that's probably going to be what wins you the slate. Especially if Luka sits. If you get the right Mavs in there, obviously you'll probably win the slate on that case. But good luck guessing, which one of these Mavs is actually going to get the minutes. It's so frustrating how they're just, some nights they'll run a tight rotation. Then, last night we saw them play 12 guys. So you just never know. And it's a back-to-back, which doesn't make things even better. They could do that again, just run a 12-man rotation on a back-to-back. I want PG to be out for the rest of the year with that performance. Yeah, God, just terrible. That's up there with one of the worst performances from a stud that we've seen all season. PG was awful, bounced back on the late night slate. I'm glad to hear that, Team Monday. I normally don't like play the late night slates. Like even if I know I'm not going to have a good night on the main slate, I normally just take my L and move on to the next. Yeah, I really don't play the late slates, but I'm glad to hear you made some money back on the late slate. Top stud and value, only running one lineup from now on. I agree with your approach. Okay, so for me, top stud, I would say Giannis is my favorite guy, like above 9K. I would say Giannis would be my favorite stud. In terms of value, if Goga plays and he's not on a minutes limit, I think Goga's my favorite value, but I don't know if he's going to play or not. He hasn't played in a while. But if Goga plays, what's his price? I think he's like 4K or something. Where's he at? Yeah, he's 4K. If Goga plays and he's not limited, Goga's my favorite value, assuming he starts too. But if he's out again, then my next favorite value would be probably like Tim Hardaway, 4,400 without Porzingis, maybe no Luka as well. I'd really like Tim Hardaway, especially if Luka were to get ruled out. Boston, I think, is going to be a team that we could get value from. It depends on who starts. Like Peyton Pritchard, Jabari Parker, these are guys we could look to for value if they start. Even if they don't, they could still be viable. But whoever starts for Boston could definitely give us some value. Thoughts on Jae'Sean Tate? I'm playing Kevin Porter Jr. too. I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. I have interest in. Jae'Sean Tate, I'm not as high on. I know he benefits without John Wall, but his price is now up to 6,100. Plus Christian Wood's back, so I don't have a ton of interest in Tate at his price. If I had to choose between him or Kevin Porter, I'd rather play Kevin Porter. Nurkic or Olynyk, definitely give me Nurkic there. Assuming Richardson is out, he's doubtful. Would you be interested in THJ? Yeah, I think Tim Hardaway is a good option. And Tim Hardaway benefits without Porzingis, without Richardson. If Luka gets ruled out as well, that just makes Tim Hardaway an even better option. So I like Tim Hardaway regardless of if Luka plays or not. What about Gafford, 15 minutes? Yeah, that was another one. Daniel Gafford, I mean, like he wasn't as popular as I thought he was going to be. He was like 30% in most of the contests I was in. But yeah, he came in, played really, really well for about 3 or 4 minutes. He had like 2 points and like 4 rebounds in like 3 minutes, and then he picked up 2 fouls. He played 4 minutes in the first half. He never checked back in until the third quarter, and he played 8 minutes or so in the third quarter, and then he didn't check back in until late in the fourth quarter, just played a few minutes, and that was basically it. Like, he played 15 minutes, just super frustrating. I mean, Gafford's been getting 25, 26 minutes a night lately, and then Robin Lopez is out, and he only plays 15 minutes somehow. Just, what? I just don't get it, man. I know the foul trouble, was an issue, but the fact that he never subbed back in at all in the second quarter, that was the frustrating part, I think. Is P.J. Washington not a good pickup after his 2 amazing games? I mean, P.J. Washington is in play, but he's the same price tag as Nurkic, and I think I would just rather play Nurkic. They're both 6,800. I'd rather have Nurkic over P.J. Washington. THJ is not allowed within 100 miles of my lineups. I mean, I know he's been bad these last few games without Porzingis, but he does benefit without Porzingis. I mean, they're going to need some offense outside of Luka. And especially if Luka sits too, then I love Tim Hardaway. I think Tim Hardaway becomes probably one of my favorite plays if Luka's out too. Kevin Porter Jr. or D'Angelo Russell for cash? I'd rather play D'Angelo Russell. Even though Russell probably won't play as many minutes, Russell's just a better point-per-minute player. The matchup's good, so I'd probably take him over Kevin Porter. Both are cash viable, though, I think, but I'd probably rather have Russell. I've been successful running 2 or 3 different lineups. I mean, yeah, whatever works for you, JP. I like running just one lineup. That's kind of what I've been doing for a while now. But if you just want to play a handful of lineups, if you find that being a more successful route, I mean, when you do play multiple lineups, it does lessen your chances of just completely bricking out. Like, obviously, if you play one lineup in a tournament, you're either going to cash or you're not going to cash. But, if you play multiple lineups, maybe you play 3 lineups. If you cash one of those 3, obviously you're still probably going to lose money, but you're not going to lose everything. So it definitely lowers your risk, I would say, playing multiple lineups over one. But me personally, I still prefer to just play one lineup. Jordan or Birch for value center on Yahoo. I think I'd rather play DeAndre Jordan if he starts. If DeAndre Jordan doesn't start, then I won't play him. But if he starts, he becomes viable for me. You loving KD at 8.3K? Yeah, I think KD is probably a little bit too cheap on DK now. A little bit weird. He did not start last game. That was like a Sunday game. He didn't start. He didn't check in until late in the first quarter, but he still played 28 minutes. They said they're going to play him around 30 minutes moving forward. So my best guess is we probably get like 28 to 30 minutes from KD, whether he starts or comes off the bench. He should be really productive. Him and Kyrie should dominate the usage. So, yeah, 8,300, I think at this price point, I have a lot of interest in KD. When he was like 9K, it was a bit tougher to play him, especially since he was on a minutes limit. But even in 30 minutes, KD could give you 50 and be a really good play at 8,300. So, yeah, I like KD. I definitely think I'd rather play him over Kyrie given the savings. Is there a different approach in single entries compared to big GPPs? I mean, yeah, like in the big field GPPs, you kind of have to get really, I don't want to say you have to get really different, but you're going to need a couple really low-owned guys to, I mean, you look at the winning lineups in the big GPPs every night. I mean, normally there's always one or two low-owned guys that kind of get them there. In single entry, you don't need to get super off the board just because, you know, the fields in single entries are not as big. You don't have as many people. Like, I think the $1, I don't even know what, I think the biggest single entry tournament on DK in terms of entries is like the $1, and it has like 5,000 entries or something. So, yeah, you don't have to get super contrarian in single entries. I would say just build a cash lineup kind of and then maybe make one or two pivots, but I tend to play a lot of the chalk in single entry, and even in big GPPs you could still do that. But, yeah, I tend to just kind of build what I think the best lineup is. Ownership, you don't really have to get too crazy in a single entry tournament in terms of, you know, finding really low-owned plays. Just join the stream. Any chance Toronto sits their studs tonight? I mean, they could. I assume that if they were, we would have already known by now. But, you know, maybe when the 5:30 injury report comes out, we'll get some news there. But I'm assuming everyone on Toronto plays. Birch or Covington? I'd probably play Covington if you have the salary. Let's say the Pacers and Mavs guys are out. What would you prefer, KD, Sumner, and Brissett, or Giannis, Sampson, and Burke? I'd probably take the second one, Giannis, Sampson, and Trey Burke there, Gabriel. What's up, Noah? Porter Jr. or Marcus Smart, best cheap Pacers forward, Sumner, Holiday, Sampson, McDermott. Between Porter or Smart, I'd rather have Marcus Smart. And best cheap Pacers forward, for me, it would probably be either Sumner or Sampson, probably Sumner at his price. Thoughts on Peyton Pritchard? Yeah, I think Peyton Pritchard's a good value. Without Tatum, without Kemba, I think he benefits. He probably plays at least like 25 minutes, maybe more. If he starts, I'm going to like him even more. So, yeah, Peyton Pritchard's in play for me for sure for value. Would you play DJ Wilson tonight? I would not, Gary. Obviously, DJ Wilson benefited last game because, you know, Christian Wood was out. But Christian Wood's playing today. I have no interest in DJ Wilson. So I've noticed in Yahoo, when people's price go down, they almost always have a great game, just a food for thought. Give me an example. I'd like to know an example, but I don't think that really, you know, it's not like these players know that their price went down, but I'd like to, give me an example. I'd like to hear what you say. But yeah, the pricing on Yahoo, I mean, it's always a bit different compared to DK. It's a lot softer, I should say. Tristan Thompson or Kim Birch for center? I'd probably take Tristan Thompson, honestly, between the two. I say single entry, you want to ride the chalk and go different on one or two spot. Yeah, I agree there. I mean, just having one or two guys under 10% owned in a single entry tournament, like that's enough to differentiate yourself. You don't need to play 7 guys that are 2% owned in a single entry tournament. Like, you just don't have to do that. I'm going Porter Jr., Sumner, Lamb, Martin, Nurkic, Smart, Brown, Towns. I mean, KJ Martin, I'm a little bit hesitant on. Like, I don't really have a ton of interest in him. You know, with Christian Wood back, with obviously, you know, without John Wall, there's more minutes to go around, but I don't think KJ Martin's really a guy that gets more minutes without John Wall just because he's a forward, he's not a guard. I'm not probably going to play KJ Martin. I guess you could. You know, he'll probably play like 25 minutes off the bench maybe, but with Christian Wood back, I don't see any reason to go to KJ Martin. Unless by some chance like the game blows out, maybe he gets blowout run, but I'm off most of the Rockets outside of Wood and Kevin Porter. I'm not playing any other Rockets outside of those two guys. Is Naz Reid playable? When Karl-Anthony Towns is healthy, I just never play Naz Reid, so no, I'm not going there. Pritchard, Hardaway, Toscano Anderson, Brooks, last spot. I'd probably go with, it'd be between Tim Hardaway or Peyton Pritchard. I'd probably play Tim Hardaway, but it would be close between him or Pritchard. How you feel about Martin Jr.? Yeah, I just answered that, T-Money. I don't have much interest in or KJ Martin. Like, with Christian Wood back, I don't see any reason to play KJ Martin. Unless they start him again, but I don't think they would do that. I doubt he starts again. Jalen or KD? I mean, Jalen Brown's probably safer just because he's going to play more minutes. KD is a better point-per-minute player. I still lean Jalen Brown over Kevin Durant, but, I mean, on DraftKings, KD's a little bit cheaper. I still lean Jaylen Brown, though, I think. Any thoughts on Fournier? Yeah, Fournier, like, he hasn't been that good lately. Since he came back from protocols, he's played 2 games, and he's been pretty bad in both games. But without Tatum, without Kemba Walker, I mean, they're going to need someone to score outside of, Jaylen Brown. So it wouldn't be surprising if Fournier actually finally has a good game today. Am I confident that he has a good game? No, but he's at least viable, I think. Armani Brooks, 38 minutes, no wall against Minnesota. I mean, Armani Brooks played big minutes last game, but Kevin Porter did not play in that game. So with Kevin Porter back, Armani Brooks still probably gets like 25-ish minutes, but we've already seen he's not a very good point-per-minute player, so I really don't have any interest in Armani Brooks. No Tristan Thompson love. I mean, Thompson's viable, but for me, I think my favorite centers are definitely either pay up for Towns or go to Nurkic in the mid-range, and I think Nurkic is probably the guy that I'm playing at center. So could you play Nurkic and Thompson? I guess you could. Thompson I'm not as high on DK, though. Like on Yahoo, he's cheap. He's like $12, but on DK, he's over $5K, which is just, it's an okay price. I don't think he really stands out at that price point. I took the over-under on Tate, 15.5 points last game. He had 14 points in 21 minutes, 7-man rotation. Everyone else locked 30-plus minutes. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Tate last game. I think he got injured. I mean, it was super weird that he only played 21 minutes when they had 7-man rotation. I'm assuming that he got injured and wasn't able to come back in because he would have played more. I doubt their intention was to play him 21 minutes. Utility 3,700 and under. I think Peyton Pritchard's the first guy that comes to mind, limbs. I'd take Peyton Pritchard there. But you do have those cheap Mavs you could go to as well if Luka gets ruled out. Like you could play Trey Burke if Luka gets ruled out, either him or Pritchard. Thoughts on playing Brogdon and LeVert together? I mean, I've been doing it recently. I can't say for sure if I'm going to play both of them on this slate, but lately I've been playing them together, and obviously, they've had good games together, so you can definitely do it. I don't see any reason why not. Smart OG or Olynyk for a flex spot? I think I'd take Marcus Smart there. Any interest in Draymond? Yeah, I would say Draymond's probably my favorite guy from the Warriors. If I had to play any Warrior today, it probably would be Draymond. Does he stand out as like a top option for me? I don't think so, but if you force me to play a Warrior, it would be Draymond. You like Towns? Yeah, Towns is one of my favorite spin-ups. Him and Giannis, I think, are the 2 guys I like most at the top. Draymond or Oubre? I'd play Draymond if you had the salary. House that one game did not even enter the game on an 8-man rotation, played him as a value. I was so pissed. Yeah, they came out and said, I don't know if you saw that, Brandon, but they did report that House was going to be active, but there was a chance that he wasn't going to play. So I guess you missed that. Yeah. I was expecting House to at least actually play. I wasn't sure how many minutes he was going to play, but they just chose not even to play him. But he had to be active, because if he wasn't active, then they wouldn't have enough active bodies. They would have had to postpone the game. So they basically said House is going to be active, but he's not going to play. That's basically what the report was. Nurkic versus PJ Washington. I'd rather have Nurkic for the salary. Even for a few dollars more, I think I'd rather play Nurkic. 6K D'Angelo Russell up to 30 minutes now. I mean, yeah, he's been playing 30 minutes off the bench. I think at some point, I've been saying it for, 4 or 5 days now. I think at some point, D'Angelo Russell is going to move back into the starting lineup. He's not going to come off the bench the rest of the season. I'd be surprised if he does. When he moves back into the starting lineup, he's going to be probably like one of the best plays on the slate. Even coming off the bench, though, if we're going to get 30 minutes from D'Angelo Russell, I like him a lot at his price. Would you rather play Dame or Brogdon at similar prices? I think I'd rather have Brogdon, and that's crazy to say, but give me Brogdon over Dame, honestly. Dort or D'Lo? I'd probably rather have D'Angelo Russell there, Steven. Yeah, I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I would say, Brandon, like if you don't have, I mean, I'm sure you probably are on Twitter. I don't think Fantasy Labs actually reported anything on it, which is crazy. Like Fantasy Lab didn't tweet anything out about it. I'm pretty sure it was, I got Roto Grinders NBA alerts on, and Roto Grinders, they put it out on their NBA alerts. They posted on their alerts that Daniel House was going to be active, but he was going to be on a very strict minutes limit. So obviously that meant he wasn't going to play at all, but yeah. It was crazy, though, that I don't think Fantasy Labs reported anything on House that day. And normally they report everything, but they missed that one. Dort or Baisley? I'd probably take Baisley over Dort, but that's pretty close. Is Fournier a play? I said it earlier, I have no confidence in Evan Fournier, but it would not be surprising if he finally has a good game here. I mean, without Tatum, without Kemba, they need more scoring. Fournier is someone that can score. He's been terrible since he's been with Boston. At least lately he has, but I still have interest in him. I think if there was ever a time for him to finally actually do something, I feel like it would be today. On Yahoo, LeVert, Draymond, Christian Wood as util. Any interest in Jordan Poole at the minimum? Probably not, Steve. Like you have the Dallas guys. Like a lot of the Dallas guys are minimum salary. You got Tim Hardaway, the bigs. You got Trey Burke, like all those guys. So I'd probably rather play those Mavs over Jordan Poole. Like I'd rather play Tim Hardaway over Jordan Poole. I'd rather play probably Peyton Pritchard. But between LeVert, Draymond, or Christian Wood, give me LeVert between those three. Should I still get Jaylen Brown even though he will be heavily owned? I mean, I still like Jaylen Brown. I know he's going to be popular tonight, but I still think he's one of the best plays on the slate. Just without Tatum, without Kemba, the offense is going to run through Jaylen Brown. His usage should be through the roof. I mean, he should be super productive tonight. And, he's 84. It's not like Jaylen Brown is super cheap. Like, he's 8,400. If he was like 7K today, he'd be like 80% owned. He's still going to be pretty popular, but I think Jaylen Brown's a good play. I mean, I'm probably going to play him personally, so... Normally, if I like a guy and I know he's going to be popular, like I just play him anyway. I don't let ownership take me off of guys that I like. Do you like starting your lineups with a few value plays first and then your studs? Thanks for the awesome content. It's all slate dependent. Like if there's a lot of value that I really like, I'll start my lineup with that value and then kind of work from there. This is a slate where we don't have a ton of great value right now, but that could definitely change. Like if Luka gets ruled out, you're obviously going to be playing a lot of Mavs, so... Let's say Luka gets ruled out, then I'm probably starting my lineup with 2 or 3 of my favorite Mavs and then working from there. And I appreciate the kind words, man. Thanks for the awesome content. You bet. Favorite Mavs in order if Luka's out. If Luka's out, it would probably be Jalen Brunson, number 1, Tim Hardaway, number 2. I mean, starting lineup will be important, but definitely those 2 guys I would have a lot of interest in. And then you could maybe go to like one of the bigs. I mean, it's risky. You don't know which one of the bigs is actually going to get the minutes, but like a Dwight Powell or a Maxi Kleber you could look to. Definitely Brunson and Hardaway I would like a lot if Luka's out. I think Hardaway you can already play just because he should start again without Josh Richardson and probably play around 30 minutes. If Luka's out, though, he looks even better. Olynyk or Porter Jr. for my util? I think I'd rather have Kevin Porter between those 2. Thanks for the response. Solid content. Sure thing, Raphael. Sure thing, my man. Smash the like button. Yeah, guys, hit the like button if you haven't already. I appreciate all the likes. Hit the like button. If Goga sits Brissett or Sampson, I would definitely play Brissett if you have the salary. On Yahoo, Brogdon, D'Lo, KPJ, Brown, Wood, McDaniels, Nurkic, Hardaway. Oh, Jesus Christ. Or Lillard, D'Lo, Dort, Brown, Wood, Sumner, Nurkic. So you got 2 lineups for me to choose from. I think the first one, I'm trying to look through. You should have just sent whatever guys were different. So I see you have D'Lo in both. You have Brown in both. You have Wood in both. So you should have took those guys out. That would have made it easier. You have McDaniels in both. So it's basically like a 4v4 or 3v3. I see Nurkic is in both. Yeah, I think I'd take the first one. It looks like Brogdon, KPJ, Hardaway, or Lillard, Dort, Sumner. So, yeah, I'd probably take the first there. Just a heads up, though, if you're going to send like a 2v2 or a 3v3, just send the 3 players that are different. Don't send your whole lineup. Just makes it easier on me. Good luck tonight. Someone take this slate down tonight. Hey, good luck, T-Money. Good luck, my man. Yes, someone's got to take down the slate. If I don't take down anything, I hope one of you guys do. How about DJ Wilson? Yeah, we've already talked about DJ Wilson. Brian, I don't have any interest in him. With Christian Wood back, DJ Wilson probably just plays like 15, 20 minutes, if that. Obviously, last game he benefited without Christian Wood, but now that Wood's back, I don't see any reason to play DJ Wilson. Over-under on the Pacers-Blazers game is 242. Smart to get some exposure besides Nurkic. Who would be your favorite from that game? If Goga plays and he's not limited, my second favorite play would be Goga. But if Goga's out again, then it would probably be one of the guards from the Pacers, Brogdon or LeVert. Probably Brogdon, but yeah. I mean, Nurkic is definitely my favorite Blazer. And then on the Pacers side, I like both the guards, and I like Goga if he plays. And he's not limited. Is Trey Burke viable? I'm probably only going to consider Trey Burke if Luka's out. If Luka plays, I don't think I'm going there. I know he had a good game last night off the bench, but we just don't know if he's going to play those minutes again. Like, last night Burke played like 30 minutes and Brunson only played 18. Tonight it could be the opposite. Brunson could play 30 and Burke play 18. So I would only consider Burke if Luka's out, I think. What are your thoughts on Miles Bridges and Brissett? Miles Bridges on DK, I don't like that much. I just think he's a little bit too expensive. I like him more on Yahoo. Brissett, I think, is definitely viable. I'd have more interest in Brissett if Goga's out. If Goga plays, that makes Brissett a little bit more risky, but he would still be viable. I mean, Brissett's going to play a ton of minutes. It's clear they're going to give him big minutes on a nightly basis. Is Steph worth picking up today if Luka's out? Might be a blowout. I mean, I still would rather play Giannis. I'd rather play Towns. I'd rather play those guys over Steph. So for me personally, in my lineup tonight, I don't think I'm playing Curry. Yahoo lineup: Pritchard, Russell, KPJ, Brown, Brissett, Sumner, Nurkic, Irving. I mean, that looks pretty solid. I think that looks pretty solid for now. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, Willie. Good luck, my man. Good luck, everybody. I hope you take the slate down tonight, Noah. Hey, Patrick, appreciate your support, man. Good luck to you as well. I hope you take some down. Jabari Parker, 3,300. Any interest with Tatum and Kemba out? Yeah, I think Parker's viable. If he starts, then Jabari Parker probably becomes like one of my favorite value plays. We know Jabari Parker can be productive when he gets minutes. It's just, if he comes off the bench, it's going to be a bit tougher to predict how many minutes he plays. But if he winds up starting, I feel confident that he gets enough minutes to where he's going to be a really good value. So, yeah, if Jabari Parker starts, he's one of my favorite values. Everyone smash the like button. This man is the GOAT of DFS. Hey, hit the like button, guys, as always. We're going to be live for just a few more minutes. Wrap up things here shortly. Hardaway or Brunson? I mean, if Luka's out, I love both of them. If Luka plays, then I'd probably take Hardaway. If Luka's out, though, I think give me Brunson if I had to choose one. What do you think of Jaden McDaniels? He's playing 30 minutes a night. He's only 3.5K. Yeah, he's been playing minutes, but I don't think he's really been that productive, if I'm not mistaken. He's played 30 minutes in 4 straight games. He only has 20 fantasy points or more in 2 of those 4. Like, if you're looking for a cheap guy that's going to get minutes, then, yeah, you could definitely play McDaniels. But his upside on a point-per-minute basis is obviously not great. Like, he's just not the best point-per-minute player playing alongside Towns and Russell and all these guys. But he's cheap, and, we're kind of desperate for value right now. We don't have a ton of cheap value. But I would say that, like, if Luka gets ruled out, there's going to be a ton of other value that I prefer over someone like McDaniels. Dort or Olynyk? Probably go with Lou Dort there between the two. Steph not going to get to the money unless he has 40 real-life points. I mean, yeah, that's the one thing about Steph. He's a great player, obviously. He's a great scorer. But for fantasy, he needs to score like 30 or 40 real-life points just because he doesn't contribute with the peripherals like other guys do. He doesn't rebound a ton. He doesn't get a ton of assists, which is crazy. He needs to get you like 40-plus real-life points. But obviously, he can do that any night. I mean, Steph is one of the best scorers we've ever seen. Do you like Blake Griffin at all or DJ from Brooklyn? Whichever one starts. If DeAndre Jordan starts, then he's a guy that I'd be targeting there. Which 2 to 3 players will you start lineup with tonight? I mean, Gary, it's too early to tell. I would say that if Luka gets ruled out, I'm going to be starting my lineup with some of those Mavs guys. But, yeah, it's too early to tell. I mean, I haven't even built my lineups yet. I normally don't start building my lineups till like an hour before lock, if that. Sometimes I'll even wait later. KD will have the most points on the slate in limited minutes. I mean, he could. He went for, 53 last game in only 28 minutes. If he plays 30 minutes, I mean, KD could easily go for 50-plus again. You look good with the shaved head, clean cut, man. I appreciate that, Bob. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, had to shave it all off. It's getting summertime, getting hot outside. Had to get all that hair off my head. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I appreciate you guys tuning in, as always. Sadly, I will not be able to stream tomorrow. I do have some things to do in the afternoon tomorrow, but I'll still have a video up for tomorrow's slate. I should be back with a live stream on Thursday, though. I appreciate you guys tuning in, as always, man. Good luck tonight, and everyone in chat. If I don't take down the tournament, hope one of you guys do. All right, good luck, fellas. Good luck.